Good morning, everybody. Today is the most important part of the tutorial because we're going to talk in more details about HTML and CSS and how can we embed the CSS inside the HTML. We're going to go more into details in the ID classes usage in HTML and how can we design our page using CSS. So in the previous videos, we discussed HTML, the division of HTML, head, body, title. We discussed about the tags that we could use in HTML. They are like the reserved word in Java or C or any computer language or any, sorry, programming language. And we talked about what else? We talked about the type of these tags, so inline elements or other. So now we're going to go more into details in what is CSS and the HTML and how can we connect them together. So as I told you from the beginning of the tutorial, I'm going to use the embedded CSS. So the embedded CSS will be inside the HTML itself. We have two types of CSS or two usage type of CSS. We could embed it directly in the in the HTML document, or we can put a link and write it in another file. So we start with HTML tab, and then Sublime gonna show us the whole page with the division and everything. So the title, HTML CSS, okay, and then what I'm trying to tell you about not embedded CSS and the links that we can use in order to link the HTML file to the other CSS file is that we can write link and then tab, everything gonna appear. So it's gonna write a relation type and then href, and then we can write the name of the file, okay, .css, because it's CSS, and make sure that the file is inside the directory that you're working in, or put the right path of it. Okay, so we can put directly its name like this one, but in this case we are guaranteed that the file is inside the directory that we're working with, or yani in the same directory the HTML file is in. Okay, otherwise we have to make sure that we're putting the right references for the right file in the right directory. Okay, and then everything will be go in this file, same as we're writing it inside the embedded file. So this is the same type of writing, but instead of writing it inside a tag, here we're going to write it separately in a file. So we're going today to learn the embedded CSS inside HTML. So first we write our CSS inside style tag. So everything we want to design it, and to add more design on it or change it with CSS, we're going to write it inside style tag. So here we have only CSS function. Okay, before going and writing about CSS, so we can how can we refer to the element inside the HTML? So guys, how could we relate the tags inside HTML, and how could we translate the CSS in order to let it related to the HTML in somehow? And how can we, lots of a question, I know that lots of a question are now inside your heads, but just watch this video and everything gonna be much clearer. Okay, so first let's start by writing anything inside the paragraph. Hello. Okay, so inside the page, we're going to have hello world. Hello world with the default font size and with the default color, with the default font family. Beautiful. Now CSS comes in order to let us or give us the privilege to change the design of this word, and to change everything we want, and to design everything as we wish it to be. Okay, so how can I relate the HTML with the CSS? It's very easy. It's through tags. So through tags, we can relate everything from HTML to CSS. Look how. So I want to modify everything inside the P tag. So I simply write P, and then inside the brackets, I can write whatever I want. It's very easy, guys. Sublime will help us by continue the rest of the word, and then we just have to write something like color. Beautiful. Blue. And then semicolon. Let's see what happened. Wow. Why? Okay. Let me try it without the quotes. Beautiful. So sometimes it works with double quotes and sometimes it doesn't. So it's very simple, guys. It's English. So the color blue. Color blue. Background color. Look, we have all the options for the background here. We don't have to memorize anything. We can reach them at any time just by writing, look, by the first 4 letters, and even less. So the background color, I want it to be black. Let's see what happened inside the page. Well, so we have the background color for P, black, and then the word is what is a blue. Okay, so beautiful. Let's make it readable. So the color is white, and then the background is black. As we discussed before, we have the font size default, so we can as well modify the font size. It's very easy. Just write the first 3 letters and you have all the options related to font. We have the font weight, font size, font variant, stretch, everything you want to deal with starting with font gonna appear in this list. So I'm searching for font size. So I want it to be, for example, 60 pixel. We can deal it as 60 pixel, or we can simply write it as English. So I want it to be XX large, and that's it. Okay, that's it. So I want it to be large. I want it to have a background color, and then I want to have a color white and beautiful. So how about make it in the center? So text align, beautiful is the first one, center. As you can see, the Sublime or any text editor gonna help you through. You don't have to memorize the things. Only think about it in English way. So I want the color, I type color. I want to font size, I type font size. I want background color, and just go and type background color. The text editor even gonna help us with the rest of the word and with the answer, or I don't know, everything. So it's very easy. Later on, when you're working on a bigger project, You don't know everything by yourself. So I wanted to have a shadow here. I wanted to have, like, I don't know, you can simply Google it. So just once you have like the key of working with CSS, you can easily find anything you want through Google. Nobody memorize anything. Nobody memorize ever anything, because you're going to Google it, you're going to search it online. You don't have to memorize anything, but you have to know how things work. So things work with tag. Later on, I'm going to see things work with with the the classes and the IDs as well. Beautiful. What's the problem of tags? Why should I have something other than tags in my work, in my HTML and CSS? Sorry about that. Let's continue. Why should I have other than tags to to connect the CSS with the HTML? Let's assuming this is a title, okay? So it's what? It's title. I want the title to be like this, but I don't know how to refer to it. I refer to the P paragraph, whatever title is inside. So I write P, I design it to be the way that I want it to be. And then I write, I don't know everything, but I persist later on to use inside the P tags a paragraph. So I write any paragraph. For example, what is CSS? Okay, I just want to have some big paragraphs. Okay, beautiful. This is, let me just copy anything. I want like some, okay, beautiful. Okay, so I just want to separate this paragraph, separate this paragraph on others. So I put it inside the P. I can put it inside whatever I want. And then I don't want to design it. It's only a paragraph, you know. I just want to put it put it inside the paragraph tag. Let's go back. Oh my god, look what happened. What's happening here is that this paragraph is inside P tag as well. The P tag I have already designed how it's gonna look. So everything inside my script that I put inside P tag is going to appear in the same way as title, because I settle it to be all the P tags going to be to have, sorry, color going to have color white, background color black, font size XX large, and text align center. I've already settled this to be like set for all my script. So whenever I write anything inside the P tag, it's going to look like this. Okay, but what's not what I want actually. I don't want everything inside the P tag appears like the one that I set it for title. Okay, what should I do? Here it comes the ideas and the classes. So here I prefer to use ID or classes instead tags, because I could accidentally use tag more than one time inside my script. what's going to happen? My design going to be a mess up, and I don't know what's going on or what's happened. So we prefer to connect the CSS and the HTML through IDs and through text. That could be much safer. So I could add the classes, and every time I want them. So for example, here I just want to put it inside the P, okay, inside the P tag, but I don't want to design them, but I want to use P tag to separate them, but no design needed. What should I do? I should change this because I don't want to whenever I use P tag have this decoration and this kind of design. Just want it for the title. So how about using class equal title and then refer dot title. Beautiful. So now I refer for title. What does the point means? It's a class. So we refer to the class and CSS through point. So point and then the name of this class. Very easy. So I just want who has the class title to look like this. Let's see what happened. Beautiful. So now I only have this with this design. I only have the title with this design, and the paragraph is as the default. I don't want to modify it at all. So I use what? I use the title and then the color. Beautiful. So now I know how can I connect it with the tag, what is the advantage and what the disadvantage. By the way, for the advantage of referring to the tags in CSS, for example, sometimes you need it. Every time you want to use, for example, anchor, okay, you want to have such as look, and you don't want every time to add the class, or add the ID, or add an ID to it. So you want every anchor to look like this. So you refer it through tags simply. Okay, but sometimes you don't want that. You want to design everything. You want to add by yourself the class that you want, and everything will go well. Beautiful. So now I know how to use the class. Okay, but what should I have IDs in case I have classes? Okay, it's either class or ID. Why I have two similar things to refer to HTML and to design HTML? Okay, I know I use the classes because sometimes tag does not serve us in the good way. So why should I use what should I use ID? Okay, so I have tag, class ID. Sometimes the title, the ID, the class, sorry, sometimes the class could not serve us. Why? Because in our big HTML, when we're going to write a really big HTML data, we're going to use lots of division inside division, paragraph inside paragraph, and sometimes the big division has a class, and then the smaller one has one as well, and then the smaller one has one as well. So the system going to confuse and does not know what's going on. So sometimes I don't know, sometimes the thing is going to be mess up. Basically, the idea is much powerful. Why? Because I want, or whenever I put an ID, okay, the ID is much powerful. Even if you have sometimes something with this class and with this ID, the ID gonna win. The ID is very very powerful. Okay, so we need sometimes to use the ID because the ID is much powerful than classes. So in case it's very simple, so I can use, for example, here ID equal to text. For example, you can name it whatever you want. It's only name, Mhm. Okay, so title, the ID is text. Okay, so how can I refer to the ID? It's by hashtag. So simple. Then text, the name of the ID, and then the brackets, and that's it. I just want to change the font size to become X large. Okay, and then I want to have a background color, maybe gray. Okay, let's see what's gonna happen. Beautiful. So that's it. This has ID and this has class, and we've already seen the small the tags and the beautiful. Now we know how we can work with CSS inside HTML. Now we know everything. We know that we can Google whatever we want from whatever we want about CSS, and just now we can know the basics of CSS and HTML together. Wait for the next tutorial video. We're going to implement a whole page. We're going to translate it into HTML, CSS, and design it together. Don't mess it up. Goodbye, and don't forget to subscribe my channel.